Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to Locks Lux Lifestyle. Today I am here with a chit chat, get ready with me / life update. So let's get into this video.
As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
So I have been gone for a little bit, y'all, and you will find out very soon. But before we get into this video, today's video is in collaboration with no other than DOSSIER. So DOSSIER is not new to my channel. I love working with them, and I couldn't do a good ready with me without including some smell goods. So if you are unfamiliar with DOSSIER, they are an affordable perfume company, and the cool thing about their perfumes is that they are always inspired by a more luxury high-end brand, so you get that good luxury high-end scent for a fraction of the price. Their perfumes always come packaged in these cool little boxes, and you get a full size as well as a sample size, and the idea is that you can try out the sample size, see how the smell works with your natural body chemistry, and then if you don't like it, you can just go ahead and ship the full size back. And so today I am wearing Fruity Orange, and this scent is inspired by Clinique Happy. It has grapefruit, tangerine, melon, orange, lily, green apple, jasmine, plum. So I actually really like this scent. It's more on like the citrusy side, but it's still kind of fresh. I think it's very light, perfect for like those summer months, something where you just kind of want to smell light and crisp and fresh. I think this is a perfect perfume. Definitely something you can do every day where it's not too strong and overbearing. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. I think this is a solid go-to. I can't remember if I've smelled the Clinique one in real life because this just smells really familiar. So if you are interested in purchasing you a perfume from DOSSIER, I will have a link down in the description box for you guys to go check out. But other than that, let's get into this video. So today I am here with a chit chat, get ready with me. I'm going to be doing my makeup, my hair. Might try to include an outfit, and I'm also going to be giving you guys a quick life update. I feel like most of the time when I do like chit chat, get ready with me, I don't really be going nowhere. But it's 7:30 in the morning. I'm actually getting ready to be getting dressed for the day and stuff. So yes, I'm gonna start with my hair. Here go my locks, y'all. I retwisted it maybe about a week and a half or so ago. I wore it loose for a minute, and then I did like this barrel twist. Sorry if the lighting is not the greatest, y'all. It's still early, so I don't have a lot of natural lighting, and then I have like this makeshift setup right now, so bear with me. But here's my hair. So I have like 3 barrel twists, and I have 2 locks hanging on the side, and then I've just been wearing it up in a bun. And then I have like, I did a similar style to this when my locks were red. I will link that video if you want like a full tutorial. My barrel twists were a little different in that video, but it's pretty much the same process. I have like a little faux lock ponytail that I attach to make my locks bigger. But I'm just taking my Talia Wahid African Healing Oil, running that through my scalp. When my hair is styled, I usually don't spray it with like water, just because if I spray it with water, especially like with a fresh retwist, my roots are just going to fluff. So I normally just hit it with oil when I'm trying to like preserve a style. So I'm gonna pull my hair up. Now I'm just going to go in with a little aloe vera gel and just kind of retwist these right here. Not too tight, but mainly just to kind of get them to fall the right way. And then last, I'm just going to do my bun. So I like to do my bun kind of messy, and I like to incorporate like my real locks with the fake locks. I just feel like it looks more natural. So I just attach it on my head with a rubber band. And again, I have a full tutorial on this style if you guys want it like in better detail. And then I'm just gonna play with the bun until I get it to kind of look how I want it to look. Alright, and this is pretty much what we have. I'm going to tie my hair down. My bun looks a little different every time I do it, but I like to let some pieces kind of hang out. Like I have some of my natural locks out. Yeah, it's just like a little messy bun style. Okay, let me do my eyebrows real quick and then we can get into this chit chat. This is taking longer than I had expected. So yes, let me get started and then I'll come back and we can start talking. Alright y'all, so I'm back. My brows are done. I'm going to be just doing my regular face. I use a lot of the same products. So I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm using while I'm using it. But I will link everything down in the description box if you guys are interested in any of the products that I'm going to be using on my face today. Okay, so let's get into this life update, you guys. So I don't know if anybody can tell, but I have been going for a minute on YouTube, on Instagram. I feel like because a lot of the times my pictures and stuff aren't updated in real time, you guys may not realize it, but I hadn't like really filmed or anything in a minute. I did recently post my 10-month lock, no, was it my 10-month? Yeah, my 10-month lock update video. That was definitely recorded and posted in pretty much real time. But I feel like my videos before that, they were just videos that I had been recorded and that I was just finally getting posted. So yes, it's been a minute. It ain't been that long, but it has been a minute, especially in like YouTube terms. Like you miss a week of posting and YouTube will have all your videos down at the bottom. In the algorithm and everything. So yes, I was gone for a little bit, and basically what happened was I mentioned it in my 10-month lock update video. I had got sick. I was recovering. So yes, I had got sick. Your girl had got COVID, you guys, and it had me down for a couple of weeks. So yes, that's kind of where I was, just focusing on healing my body, recovering to like me. You guys can probably still hear it in my voice. It's been a few weeks now. I did my isolation. I retested. I'm negative now, so it's been a minute, but I just feel like you can still kind of hear it in my voice. I feel like I would sound really congested, but I didn't really feel congested. I think it was just the virus, you know, doing what it does. But yes, I have been sick. I'm doing a lot better, getting back to just like my normal routine and stuff like that. It was kind of crazy just how everything went down in general. It was totally unexpected. It came left field, and I don't mean that in like an insensitive way or anything, because I don't think anybody expects to get sick. And you know, COVID has been around for a while now, and it's not that I thought that I was invincible, but the weekend that I actually was exposed, it was like, okay, so during this past year and a half, I wouldn't say I've been living recklessly. You know, I've been following the different mandates. I'm in California, so we have really strict mandates anyway, so for months we couldn't really do anything. But yeah, in general, you know, for the most part, I follow all the mandates. But at the same time, I didn't completely stop living. You know, I've gone on a few trips in this past year and a half. I've been to a few, you know, events with more than 10 people. So I just feel like, you know, with me actually catching it, the weekend that I caught it, it was a very like chill weekend. And so I was just like, it's crazy that I've been in more risky activity, and out of all the weekends I catch it, it's this weekend.
So I'll tell you guys how everything kind of went down. Oh, also, like I was saying about, like, you can kind of still hear it. Because of that, I just still have this urge to, like, clear my throat. And I do it subconsciously. I don't realize I'm doing it. So I apologize now in advance if you guys hear me clear my throat or anything, because it's just one of my lingering symptoms. So I'm letting y'all know now. Just did it. Okay, so basically my symptoms kind of started, it was like a Sunday or a Monday-ish, and at the time I didn't realize they were symptoms. So basically I remember going out Sunday. That night I went to bed, took my shower, went to bed, you know, a normal Sunday to get ready for work the next morning. I went to bed that night. I was sleeping really good. I woke up at like 1 in the morning to use the restroom, and then I couldn't go back to sleep after that. So I get back in my bed and I'm laying there. You know, sometimes it may take you a minute to go back to sleep, but you guys, I tossed and I turned all night until like 6 in the morning, when it was time for me to get up and start getting ready for work. So I had a really just restless night of sleep, didn't sleep well. So yeah, on Monday morning, I just remember being like really sluggish, really tired. And I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't sleep good, and I'm just tired this morning. And I just felt like at work, I was just moving really slow, and I just didn't have really any energy. On top of that, on Monday, I also found out that a relative had passed. So that kind of put a damper on the day. Like, the energy that day was just really weird and really off. And so like by the evening time, I started to develop a headache. Now, it wasn't like a horrible headache where I couldn't do anything, but I definitely started to get a headache. And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, you know, I'm just tired. It was a stressful day. I haven't rested. On top of that, my legs and my hips were achy. Also, I deal with like sciatica pain. So I know that sleep is one of my triggers for my sciatica pain. So if I don't sleep good sometimes, or if I have a really restless night, it'll make my sciatica hurt. So I'm just thinking like, you guys, I'm just thinking like, man, like not sleeping this past night just really threw everything off whack. So Monday night, I remember making me like a little cocktail, you know, to help relax me. Went to bed kind of early. Like, I just want to get some good rest. So I went to sleep. I slept good, but then I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was the same thing as the night before. Just really restless, couldn't sleep, and I was up again until it was time for me to go to work. And so when Tuesday happened, it's Tuesday now, and I'm still just really restless. I'm just really fatigued. I'm tired. I'm lethargic, and I'm just like, what is going on? So at this point, I didn't really feel sick, but I just felt like really off. I didn't feel like myself. I wasn't sleeping, and I'm like, so in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like, it's anxiety, it's stress. You know, I found out another family member passed. You know, I haven't been sleeping, and like I just felt really off. And then later that night, I found out that my boyfriend had been exposed. And the previous weekend, like when I was talking about that Sunday, like that whole weekend, I was pretty much with him. And I'm just like, oh my God. So the next day we made an appointment to go get tested. Even when Wednesday came around for when I went to get tested, I still wasn't feeling sick. Like, I was still kind of feeling off, definitely, but I wasn't feeling sick. I remember making some oatmeal that morning, and the oatmeal tasted funny. I'm like, what's wrong with this oatmeal? Like, why does it taste like this? I didn't finish it. Still not feeling sick, still tired, still fatigued, but not really feeling sick. So we go get tested. You know, it takes a minute. Depending on what kind of test you get, you know, determines on how fast you get your results. But so Thursday rolls around, still feeling tired, like still just feeling like, I just felt like I was in a fog for like that first week. Like everything just kind of felt just loopy. Like, I can't explain it. It was such a weird feeling. But this is when I knew it was real. So Thursday is when things started to really get real. So I was still waiting on my results, but I remember that morning I started to feel like I was losing my smell. My taste buds I hadn't completely lost them yet, but they were starting to be weird. Like I told you, the previous day I ate oatmeal, and it didn't register at the time, but the oatmeal tasted funny. And so then, like, now Thursday, I can't smell anything. I literally took some perfume like this, sprayed it in front of my face. It couldn't smell anything. And it was like, at that moment, I knew, like, I didn't even need the test results at that point. Like, at that moment I knew I probably had it. And losing, like, your taste and smell was, like, the weirdest part of it. That was one of, like, my main symptoms, honestly. And it was so weird because, like, I've been sick plenty of times. I've had plenty of colds. I've had the flu. Like, I've had all of it. And usually, like, when you can't smell or taste, it's accompanied by, like, a stuffy nose or, like, really bad congestion. But I never had any of that. Like, I could do that. My nose wasn't stuffy or anything. Like, it was so weird to be able to just inhale but just not smell anything. But yes, so yes, that was like the main thing that made me realize, like, yeah, it's a wrap. I ended up getting my results later that day on Thursday, and yeah, my results confirmed it. So like I said, luckily I work from home, and you know, I already spend like a significant amount of time at home just from working, but because I just felt so tired all week, you know, I didn't really leave the house. So luckily I was already isolating before I realized what was going on. But yeah, it was so weird because that whole week I was actually experiencing symptoms, but I didn't recognize them as symptoms because they weren't like symptoms that I was used to getting when I would get sick. Like I said, I usually get sick literally as soon as cold and flu season start. I usually get sick somewhere between October and December every year, like clockwork. So like, I'm familiar with cold symptoms, but that entire week, like I said, I never got a stuffy nose. I wasn't sneezing. I wasn't coughing. I didn't have a sore throat. I was just really, really tired. And my biggest symptoms throughout the whole thing was definitely like the fatigue and the tiredness, the loss of taste and smell. And then overall, I just kind of, after a while, I just started to not feel well. I don't know if it was just like psychological, because like I said, up until Thursday, I never actually felt sick. But I feel like as soon as I got my results back, I started to feel sick, I guess you could say. So like Friday, I ended up calling off of work. I'm like, you know, let me just stay in bed, relax, not overexert myself or anything, so I can really rest properly. And then I feel like Friday and Saturday, I started to feel sick. And it's like, I still didn't have like the cough, the sneezing, the stuffy nose. I didn't have any of those symptoms, but I just had the overall feeling of like just not feeling well. So yeah, I feel like that weekend was the roughest part. Again, I don't know if it was psychological, because a lot of people, I feel like more people were like worried. People were more worried about me than I felt. I usually don't get into COVID discussions because I feel like people believe what they want to believe, and people take the necessary steps to protect themselves the way that they feel is necessary. And I don't have any problem with that. I feel like everyone has their own right to protect themselves any way that they see fit. And it's one of the things, like, I've lost family members from COVID, but you know, during this past year, I've just never had this overwhelming sense of fear when it comes to the virus. But then like other people will get in your mind and make you feel like you're dying. Like the whole time I'm cool, like I'm like, you know, I don't feel well, but I don't feel like I'm dying. And other people like, are you okay? And you know how that go. My family was worried and stuff like that, but I'm okay. And then another thing that kind of helped me feel better too was that when I got my results, it literally said like 85 to 90% of cases are mild to moderate. Once I read that, like when they give you your official results, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be okay. I just need to rest. But I think that weekend was definitely like my hardest days. I feel like part of it was just psychological. Like I like to feel productive during my day, and I wanted to be productive, but my body just wouldn't allow me. So I think part of it was just kind of like frustration, not being able to move and operate how I wanted to, because I was just really tired. And then it's like when I did get a little energy, I would try to do stuff, but then I feel like I would overexert my body. And I think that part was making me frustrated because like I wanted to do something, but physically, like mentally I wanted to do it, but physically my body just couldn't. All right, y'all, so I kind of had to just do a jump cut to the final look just because when I was doing my makeup that morning, I ended up getting makeup on my contact lens, and I had to take my contact out. I was trying to clean it, then I just eventually just put in a new contact, and I was already pressed for time. And so yes, I never got back around to finishing that video up, so I recreated the look for you guys today. But here is the look. Again, this was just like my go-to, one of my go-to looks. Here is my hair. Did the same hairstyle because it's the hairstyle I've been wearing for the last few days. I only have on lip liner and some clear gloss on my lips. I have on like this cute wrap top. Put on some gold jewelry and accessories. And then for perfume, I am wearing my DOSSIER Fruity Orange. This one is inspired by Clinique Happy. Smells super good, really fresh. Yeah, so this is the completed outfit, the completed look. I can't remember exactly where we left talking in the video, but I'm gonna try to pick up where I left off. And originally I wanted this to just be like a full video of me doing my makeup, chatting with you guys, but it's gonna be like partly get ready with me, and we just gonna finish the update part with me just talking. So yes, like I said, got sick with COVID, and I'm back. I'm better. I'm currently negative now. But yeah, just the whole process was definitely interesting, just from like start to finish and how everything kind of unraveled. But like with most things, I try to make the best out of the situation. So, you know, being isolated for those 2 weeks, I definitely got to rest. I talk a lot about like work-life balance, self-care, making sure you're taking time for yourself, letting your body rest. But I can admit that a lot of times that's really hard to implement in real life. And so, you know, God set me down for a minute. He was like, you need to chill. I rested. And it's so crazy because when I first got my results, when I wasn't feeling too bad, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, since I'm gonna be locked in the house, I can film all this content and do all of this stuff. I was too tired to even do all of that. So mentally I wanted to, but like physically my body couldn't even do it just because I was so fatigued. So I really had no other choice but to rest. In addition to that, I also felt like I kind of got to like clean my body out in a sense, really detox and start fresh. This past year and a half in the house, I can be honest and say that I have not been doing the best when it comes to taking care of my body, especially compared to how I was taking care of my body pre-pandemic. So my eating habits have been horrible. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. I've been overeating. I've been drinking a lot of alcohol this past year, and my body also just really needed to detox and start fresh. So it needed a reset. And so my appetite, I didn't have the same appetite while I was sick, so I wasn't eating as much. And then on top of that, I was trying to make sure I stayed hydrated, so I drank a lot of water. Wow, my light just went out on me though. Extra light just died, but we're gonna work it out. So yes, you know, I drank a lot of water. I was also drinking just a lot of green juices and smoothies and pressed drinks, and you know, that were filled with just like nutrients and stuff. And then like towards the end of like me being sick, I was also started implementing like detox teas. So I feel like I really just got to clean my body out and just kind of really start fresh, start new habits, make better eating habits now that I've kind of started on a clean slate. And then I just got to spend time with myself. I don't think enough of us really spend just solid quality time with ourselves. We're always so occupied with everything that's going on in our lives that it's rare that we just have a minute to ourselves, to be with ourselves, to sit with our thoughts. And being that I had to isolate from everyone for 2 weeks, I just really got time to sit and be with myself and be with my thoughts and just think about things, reflect on certain things. So yes, you know, it was a sucky situation, but I did my best to make the best out of it. I'm back. I'm better. I'm just grateful that my body and my immune system was healthy enough to fight it off. And yeah, so that's kind of where I've been for the last few weeks. In addition to that, like I said, I spent a lot of time thinking, and I don't know, I just feel like this last year, I always talk about this, but I just feel like this last year has just been so weird, and I just been in a really weird phase in my life. Like
you know, my life isn't horrible, it's not bad, but I'm definitely having like this feeling and this urge for something new. I need some kind of change in my life. So I've already been like looking to move, but I do feel like it's definitely become more of a priority lately. You know, prior to the pandemic, I would basically be at home to eat, to shower, and to get dressed because my schedule was always filled with different things. So I wasn't spending a lot of time in my house. And now, fast forward a year and a half later, I spend at least 90% of my time in the house, and it's definitely starting to get to me. It was cool at first, but it's definitely starting to get to me. I just feel like there's no boundaries and everything. I feel like everything in my life has just kind of merged together, and you know, I work from home full time, which I'm not complaining about. I love having that luxury to work from home, but my home isn't really designed or set up for me to have a workspace. And you know, initially I made the most out of it because, you know, I was gonna sacrifice for a couple of weeks, you know, I was gonna sacrifice for a couple of months, I was gonna sacrifice for a year. But after a year, it's kind of like, okay, this is too much. I need a new space. I need to be able to divide work from home because right now I just feel like really cluttered. I feel anxious a lot lately, and I'm like, okay, I just need a new space. Like, I'm starting to feel really suffocated. So because of that, I have been looking to move. It's like really on my priority list now, but that's been a process within itself. I don't know if you guys know, I'm in California, specifically the Bay Area, and the cost of living is like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I'm not rich, okay, but I have what would be considered like a good paying job. Like, I don't make the most money, but I should be able to make enough money to at least provide for myself. But the cost of living is just so outrageous that most people aren't able to do that. Something was on our local news, and I think I have a screenshot which I'm going to put on the screen right here. But they said to live in the East Bay, it said that you need to make like at least $54 an hour to afford rent. And I'm like, what jobs are even paying $54 an hour? In San Francisco, I want to say it was like 60 something dollars an hour. So the cost of living is just like outrageous. I've been applying to different places, and it's just been a crazy process. It's been a frustrating process. So yes, that's kind of what I've been also dealing with. In addition to being sick, I've been trying to get my life together so that I can step into something new. You know, my boyfriend and I, we have been dating for like almost 3 years now. So, you know, we've been doing a lot of talking about marriage and, you know, children and things like that. I'll be 31 this year, and I'm still young, but I do know that like if I desire children and stuff like that, that's something that I need to start putting at the forefront of my life. And so I've been dealing with that. And yes, and which brings me to this next thing, is that because trying to find some place to move, okay, so there's a whole renting aspect, and I was like, well, maybe it's just not meant for me to rent anymore. Maybe it's time for me to just purchase a house or something like that. But these houses, I kid you not, you guys, these houses are going for $1 million, and these aren't what you would even consider to be $1 million home. A house literally just sold on my parents' block for like 1.4 million. It's a 2-bedroom house. It has a cute little backyard, but it's not like a lot of space. Another thing, our houses are like stacked right next to each other. Like, these are not what I would consider $1 million houses. The rent, like I said, is out of control. I'm going to try to find some screenshots to put in because I've been going through it, just trying to get my life together. And I feel like I spent so much, let me stop saying trying to get my life together, because I did a whole nother video about that. But like, you know, I've been trying to move on to the next thing in my life, and it's been hard to do. These apartments, they want you to make, you know, you have to make at least 3 times the amount a month, but a new studio is going to cost you more than $2,000 for sure. If it's a new apartment, like a new 2-bedroom apartment in some of the new high-rises they built, they're starting off at least $2,600 a month. It's a lot of places that aren't even new and are still like charging an arm and a leg. I remember seeing one place, I can't remember if it was a 1 or 2 bedroom, but it was an old unit. It hadn't been remodeled. They wanted you to make 5 times the amount of rent a month, and in my mind, the rent was over $2,000. So it's like you would need to make like $10,000 plus a month to live there. And in my mind, it's like, if I'm making 6 figures, why would I want to live in this raggedy apartment? So yes, needless to say, it's been a stressful process, and so because of that, I've been really highly considering relocating. My brother actually just relocated to Houston. There are a lot of people from my city like moving. I have another friend that just not just relocated, but within this last year relocated to Atlanta. There's a lot of people honestly going to Texas, and so yeah, it's something that I'm starting to give like real thought, just because there's just certain things that I want in my life, and I fear that I won't be able to have them here. And you know, it's a scary thing. Like when I think about my life, I always thought about having children and raising them in Oakland, where I was born and raised. And then once everything started being heavily gentrified, it made me want to stay here even more, because it feels like, no, I can't allow this to happen to my city. But then it's like, what am I supposed to do? Because like there's certain things that I want, and I don't know if I'll be able to do them here. So yes, I've been considering relocating. I've been thinking about Texas. Like I said, my brother just relocated to Houston, and I have another cousin. I have a few more cousins that are already out there. I have family in Texas because like my dad's side of the family is originally from Texas. So it's something that I've been giving a lot of thought to. My brother just called me a couple of days ago and was trying to recruit me to come. So I don't know. I haven't. It's like one of the things that I've really been thinking about. And it's funny because a few years ago, when I was in the process of trying to figure my life out, one of the things I would say is that if I wasn't in a better situation by the time I turned 30, I would consider relocating. And then 30 came. I didn't have everything, but I had made a lot of progress from where I was at. And so I was like, you know, I wasn't really considering relocating, but now it's like it's starting to come up again. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been dealing with, in addition to being sick. If you have ever like relocated across the country, let me know your experience down in the comment section. Some pros, some cons. Also, if you have any regrets, give me the good, the bad, and the indifferent. But yes, I think I'm going to close this video out right here, because I can ramble and go on. But yes, thank you all for watching. I'm getting back to filming since I'm better and I'm feeling like myself again. I'm actually about to film another video right now, so if you see the same outfit, that's why. So yeah, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. I have a lot more videos coming for you guys. Also, don't forget to check out DOSSIER. I will have their information linked down in the description box, and I will see you all in my next video.